Calculus, 7 Easy Derivatives by Karen Morales. But first, what is a derivative? A derivative is a rate of change. It is the slope of a tangent line, and it is the limit of a difference quotient. You might not understand what that means. And if that's the case, go ask your calculus teacher. This video just deals with memorizing and learning 7 easy derivatives. You can figure out why you need to learn them from your calculus teacher. The first derivative is as follows. d over dx of c equals 0. Now, you read this as the derivative of c. But what exactly is c? C is a constant. A constant is any number that does not have a variable. So for example, c is 1, 2, 3, etc. So the first derivative is the derivative of a constant, which will always be 0. The second derivative is d over dx of x equals 1. Now in this derivative, x is equal to x. Now this may seem a little bit confusing, but in the next example, you'll understand. Find the derivative of x plus 34. To do that, we need to involve the first derivative and the second derivative. Now, x plus 34. We need to find the derivative of that. Well, we know 34 with the first derivative we learned is 0. And x is 1. So the derivative of x plus 34 is equal to 1. The third derivative is d over dx, x to the n power, equals n x to raise to the n minus 1. After an example, this would be very easy to understand. The example is find the derivative of x to the fifth. Following the format of the derivative before, we know that the 5 has to come out in front of the x. So now we have 5x. And the power would be n minus 1. 5 being the n, so it's going to be 5 minus 1. And after simplifying, this will be 5x to the fourth power. This is the third derivative. Let's have a quick test. Find the derivative of the following. Number 1, 1987. The derivative of that is 0. Number 2, x plus 4. The derivative of that is 1. And number 3, the derivative of 3x plus x squared. Well, we know x squared is 2x raised to the power of 1. But what about 3x? Aha! I haven't taught you how to do the derivative of 3x. That's derivative number 4. The fourth derivative is d over dx of c times f of x equals c times the derivative of f of x. Now, f of x is any equation or any variable put. As an example, we have find the derivative of 3x. Now, the 3 is a constant, as we learned before. So, the 3 comes out in front. The x is the f of x in this case. So, the derivative of the f of x is the derivative of x. It won't always be this case, but it is right now. So, the final answer for this equation is 3 times the derivative of x is 1, which is 3. That is the fourth derivative. The fifth derivative is a pretty easy one. D over dx of e to the x is e to the x. It's just that simple. Now, it won't always be this simple, but you'll learn that in your calc class. The sixth derivative is d over dx of a to the x equals ln of a times a to the x. Now in this case, the a kind of works like a constant, but because we don't want to mix the two symbols, like a and c, we're just going to say that this is a. Now this is pretty confusing, and after an example, you'll see it won't be. It's actually pretty simple and straightforward. Find the derivative of 5 to the x. Now this is kind of weird. We've never seen 5 to the x. All we see is x raised to the 5th power, x raised to the 6th power. But now it's 5 raised to the x power. We just use this derivative. So follow the format. ln of a. The a acting as the base. The base here is 5. So it's ln of 5. And then a to the x. Well, it's pretty much the same thing they give us. So it's going to be ln of 5 times 5 to the x. That's the derivative of 5 to the x. And that is your sixth derivative. The seventh derivative and final derivative of this video is d over dx of ln to the x equals 1 over x. This is straightforward. The derivative of ln to the x, which is a natural log, is equal to 1 over x. The x in this case acts like an x. So, this derivative is pretty straightforward. The only way it will get difficult is in your calc class. But the teacher is there, so ask the teacher. Calculus, 7 easy derivatives by Camarales. Thank you. But one last thing. You know how on all my little explanations it says 7th derivative and 6th derivative and stuff like that? These are not called that name. These each have all different names. So don't think that this is called the 7th derivative, because then in your calc test you're going to get a 0. So please know that this is not called 7th derivative or all the other. They are not called a number derivative. They all have their each name. Sorry for the confusion, but just wanted to make sure you never got a 0 on a calc test that, dealt with derivatives. Thank you once again. This is Camarales on Calculus, 7 easy derivatives.